Now, this isn't a new video. This is just the best video. Listen, I don't care what YouTubers you watch. Mr. T-Lexify, get him out of here. Mr. Dalek JD, you know what I'm saying? Mr. Waffle Waffles, I spit upon every other zombie YouTuber, everyone that I named, everyone that I didn't name. Every single one of these guys have no clue, to be completely honest with you, what even makes a good zombie map, let alone how to actually rank these correctly. So today, my friends, we are going to be going through every single zombie map in existence, including Extinction. We're including World War II, Extinction, Exo Zombies. It's all going to be here, and I literally could not be more excited to give you guys my actual opinion. This is the first time that I've ever done this. My actual opinion on all of these maps. So we're going to be doing this in no particular order. We're literally just going to be going down here, closing my eyes, and be grabbing a map, talking about it, and then ranking it. Our tiers are near perfect, because obviously nothing can ever be actually perfect. This is going to be near perfect. We've got great, good, average, lackluster, bad, painful. And these are the options that we're going to be ranking every single one. There is another category called haven't played, but we deleted it, and you'll see why when we get there. So without further ado, we're gonna be grabbing our first map. Let's go with this one right here, D Machine. Okay, so let me just get this up here, and we're gonna talk about this. D Machine. So D Machine was the first map in Black Ops Cold War, and I'm gonna be honest, it's not the greatest map of all time. I think it's pretty carried by Cold War's great mechanics, but very much a lackluster story on D Machine. It was the intro to this kind of dark ether story, and while some parts were cool and exciting, like seeing Orda outside, I'm gonna go ahead and have to give D Machine a average. It's an okay map. It's fun. It's enjoyable, but it's nothing, you know, nothing exciting, nothing really that truly gives you a fantastic zombies experience that some of these other maps can actually give you. Next up, let's spin the cycle. We've got Der Eisendrache. Oh wow, we're really starting off strong here. Okay, Der Eisendrache. So you guys know, I mean, it's no secret that Der Eisendrache is in everybody's top 5, and if it's not in your top 5, you're literally wrong. Der Eisendrache, I would say, is just makes the S tier maps. I think it's very, very close, and we're actually going to be like literally ranking these like within the tiers where I think things are. I think Der Eisendrache makes the S tier. I mean, it's been talked about a billion times why it's one of the greatest zombie maps of all time. Story's good, environment's good, you know, the cutscene's good, the gameplay is phenomenal. Der Eisendrache is an S tier, and if you disagree at all, you're just trying to be edgy and cool, and you don't know anything about zombies. All right, let's hit the lottery once again. We got Outbreak. Apparently, we're starting off with a lot of Cold War here. So, Outbreak. Now, Outbreak, I think, is probably the most, and I don't think this is like really even a debate, this is just a factual information. As far as Treyarch Zombie goes, it's the most out there thing that we have. It's not round based, it's so different from everything else, and I'm gonna be honest, it is my favorite thing to stream because it's so easy and you can actually relax and talk and interact and do other things while you're doing it. But in terms of actually how good it is, I think it's a little bit lackluster. I think there's not enough crazy stuff that happens. I think while there is like, you know, there's like 17 maps, there's like there's Easter eggs and stuff. It all feels very repetitive to me in the way that regular zombies doesn't feel that way. And I think it's a bit lackluster. I think it's good, but it's missing some like special things and more events, more random stuff that can happen, and just I don't know, more objectives, something. I honestly don't know, but all in all, I think it's got to go lackluster for me, and that's just me personally. You guys might have different opinions. They may be wrong. That's fine. It's fine to have wrong opinions, but that's mine. So let's spin it again, and we're going to go ahead and rank. What do we got here? No, Kino Der Toten. I thought it was knocked for a second. Kino Der Toten. Now, I will say, I think Kino was massively, massively overrated in a lot of people's stuff. Don't get me wrong. It's good, but Kino Der Toten, in my opinion, is like that one map that just goes, it gets put in everybody's top 10 for nostalgia reasons, but I really don't think it deserves as high a praise as it has. It's very innovative. Teleporter was really cool. A lot of really great storyline in it, but I'm just going to put it in the average category. And if you disagree with me, just be honest with yourself. Talk to me right now. When was the last time that you booted up Kino Der Toten? Be honest with yourself. And unless it was pretty recently and you still actively play zombies, then sit your ass down and let's respect the fact that Kino Der Toten is C tier map. It's average. And again, I'm going more off these average things rather than the actual, you know, rankings that I put them. But I put it in C. So here we go. All right, round and round we go. Where it stops, no one knows. We have Revelations. Now, Revelations, I am very, very biased to maps that have Easter eggs because I love Easter eggs. I love completing them. I love doing them. I love everything about them. And for that reason, and pretty much that reason only, and just how much innovative stuff and like time trials, all this really cool stuff that they put into Revelations, and also the story of it, I'm gonna have to put it as a good tier map. I will put it above Kino Der Toten, and I was gonna do this one thing. Kino is actually above D Machine. I forgot that maybe ranking within each subcategory. So Revelations, B tier map. It's good. It's a lot of stuff wrong with it, but really fun wonder weapons, fun round 100, and I mean Black Ops 3. It's basically a W if it exists on Black Ops 3. All right, next up, let's see if we can get a non-Treyarch here. What do we get? 5. Okay, so 5. Are we talking? So we're talking about the remake, I guess. I can kind of rank both of these together. I'm not sure if they have both of them down here, but we'll go ahead and rank it together. All in all, I have almost negative fun playing this map. It was fun every once in a while, but I'm gonna be honest, 5 is one of those maps where it is just frustrating more than anything else to play. I don't find it very fun. I think it's massively overrated. I'm gonna put it in D tier, lackluster. I would rather play Outbreak than 5. And a lot of these are just based off how much fun and how willing I am to actually boot up those maps. It's a D tier map. I'm sorry if you disagree. BO4 version, regular version, doesn't matter. D tier map. Let's move on. All right, so what do we got next? We got Town. So we actually do have like literally every single one. Now, as far as all of the mini maps from BO2 go, Town is the best one. I think everyone would agree with that. If you don't agree with that, I don't know what's wrong with you. But putting Town this is definitely going to be above like Farm and everything like that. I think Town is probably, for what it was and how much fun it is to just get that sniper rifle and go off on headshots, I'm going to put Town in a B tier map. I'm going to put it as a good map. It is a lot of fun, and it's very, very quick. And it was like the good version of Transit. It was like if Transit was all like Town was, it would be a great map. But you know, unfortunately it wasn't. So I'm going to put Town there. Yes, I understand it's above Kino Der Toten, and that is for good reason. I've had way more good times on Town than I have on any of these other maps. I'm going to be completely real. We got Der Riese. Okay, here's a big one, because a lot of people, they do this. They put Der Riese and Kino Der Toten wherever they put it, usually up here on like A or B tier or S tier. Der Riese and Kino Der Toten are always next to each other. I think Der Riese is massively, the giant version, the regular version, everything, massively better than Kino Der Toten ever was. And I think that with all my heart. I seriously would 100 times rather play Der Riese than Kino Der Toten. So I'm going to go ahead and put Der Riese into a B tier map as well. And I'm actually going to put it above Town. I would rather play Der Riese or the Giant rather than Town, but they are neck and neck right next to each other. Again, still below Revelations because I am partial to Easter eggs. Let's be honest. This is a biased tier list. It's the only correct one. Let's keep it going. All right, what do we got next? We have Challenge Shuffle, the first IW Zombies map to exist. Now, I actually feel like I can give a pretty good like assessment on this because I played this a couple months ago with Mr. T Lexify, and I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit biased to how terrible the systems are in Infinite Warfare in terms of connection, playing with each other and stuff. Challenge Shuffle was straight painful. It had some good ideas, but with the connection, with how difficult the Easter egg is and how like much attention you have to pay, you can't just kill zombies and have fun. You have to be on top of your game. Challenge Shuffle is a painful map to play, and if you don't believe me, go with 1 to 3 people, go try to complete the Easter egg, and let me know how it goes. You will then put it in the painful map. I promise you, the Easter egg steps are convoluted, hard to remember, hard to do. It is All right, next up we've got Mauer Der Toten. Again, another recent release here. Now, Mauer, it's still, I think Mauer is still pretty early to call anything, right? I think Mauer Der Toten's a pretty difficult one to rank, and it is definitely, I say, the absolute best out of Cold War that we've gotten so far. Now, on gameplay alone, I think Mauer Der Toten's pretty up there, Easter egg alone. But for me, not having the core 4 operators or just 4 players that actually have good quotes and stuff, it's going to bring this storyline and, like, you know, replayability and memorability aspect a lot down for me. Like, I mean, a lot. I really like it. I think that's the one thing that Cold War, like, the maps just don't have that oomph that the old ones used to have, where you feel like something's actually happening every map and there's, like, ambiance and more story and stuff. And I understand there's intel and everything, but for the map itself, I'm going to put it as a good map. I'm going to put it above Town, behind Der Riese. It's going to go right there. slot right in. I think it's a good map. I think there, with a story, it could definitely be a great map. I think that it's missing that little bit of oomph that we wish it had, and I think you all kind of know what I'm saying with that. And I mean, it's the gameplay really that carries it that hard, because it's the Wonder Weapon's incredible. Chef's kiss. All right, next up, round and round she goes. We've got Awakening. Now, you guys might notice, I'm gonna put it right here just for the meantime. You guys might notice I have a YouTube tab right here. That's because, I'm gonna be honest, I need to watch the trailers for some of these old Extinction maps again, because I don't remember anything. So this is an intro cutscene that I uploaded. What in the world was this?
From me.
Same as everyone else. I want to make a deal.
Monka Omega? Okay, let's find some actual gameplay.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Patrick here, and today I'm bringing
my
you
god. Old Pat, dude. 10K views. This is old Pat here. All right, let's look at what actually the map looks like. Oh, yeah, I remember this. I need to go back, and I really want to play through Extinction all over again. Dude, yes. Yes, I remember this. I remember this. Okay, this is gonna give me what I need in order to actually, yeah, I remember it now. This is gonna give me everything I need. So Awakening was definitely one of the more interesting maps in Extinction. It's where the story, I feel like, actually had some like meaningful stuff. I remember like just, you know, learning about the aliens and stuff like that was always the, you know, one of the best parts about Extinction. That being said, the gameplay of this map was absolute doo-doo. Absolute doo-doo, and I would go as far to say this deserves the bad category. And I do want to go back and I want to play Extinction again soon, but without even having to remember a whole lot, seeing just those couple still shots, it's bad category, hands down, no questions asked. Let's move on. Next up, we have Ascension. Okay, Ascension, the very first map with an Easter egg, which automatically gives it points in my book. Ascension is a lot of fun, a lot of really cool concepts, a lot of lore, a lot of Easter eggs and stuff like that. I'm gonna go ahead and put it into the average category. I think Ascension is really like actually pretty good, but you know, being fair with the ranking, I would say it's average, and I would even go as far as to put it the best in the average category. The lore, the sickle, I mean, shooting the rocket ship, there's so many cool stuff, like, you know, moments and things that you can do in Ascension, and plus it has an Easter egg at the end of the day, which is huge. Maybe one of the worst Easter eggs of all time because of how much you have to hit the box, but, you know, that's just how it goes. All right, next up, we got, Still painful. Next up, we got Moon. Okay, Moon. So Moon is definitely better than Ascension. I would go as far to say Moon is deserving of this spot right here. Okay, I just realized I haven't put anything in great yet. Maybe I'm being a little bit too harsh with these maps, but I'd rather give them too low of a grade than too high of a grade. So the ones that are, you know, up here in this S tier, they have meaning, you know what I mean? I only want a few maps up here in this S tier and the great tier. So I'm gonna say Moon is good tier, and I think I'd put it right here or slightly above Der Riese. I think these two can be interchangeable depending on what you want to do. If you want to catwalk, camp, Der Riese is better, but if you want to actually like have a good time. So I'm gonna put Moon here. I'm gonna put Moon above Der Riese, and I think depending on the situation, Der Riese could go higher, but I'm gonna put it in good category. Moon was a good map. Next up, we got Voyage of Despair. So again, like I said, I am partial to Easter eggs, so I love Easter eggs. But Voyage is one of those maps that makes Easter egging a chore. It is the example of, in my opinion, how not to do an Easter egg. It is one of the least enjoyable Easter eggs to do out of all the Treyarch maps. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it down here in lackluster. Now, I do think it is better than 5. I think Outbreak could be said to go higher than it, but I think I'm gonna put it right in front of Outbreak in terms of what I actually enjoy doing, what I actually enjoy playing. Voyage of Despair, very, very lackluster. I wouldn't quite call it bad, because there are some cool parts to it, but very, very lackluster. I mean, the step where you shoot planets out of the sky was really cool, so stuff like that is going to keep it in lackluster. Let's go next. All right, we got Die Rise. Now, Die Rise, BO2, they were starting to get a little bit better hang of the Easter eggs, and Die Rise has a lot of really, really good moments, and I would probably end up putting this higher than on Voyage of Despair and Outbreak for sure. I would go as far as to put it into the back half of the average maps, but this discussion has been had before. I've talked about this before. Die Rise with proper connection, good mechanics, and a little bit like crisper gameplay, like basically a remastered version of Die Rise, I think could even be up here in the good tier. But we don't have that. We only have the base version, which is laggy, you know, not fun to play when you just lag off the side of a cliff and die. Very glitchy. So in its current form, Die Rise is back half of average, man. It's I hate doing it, but pain. All right, here we go. Next up is what is Exodus? Oh baby. Okay, so we got Exodus here. Exodus, I remember most of this. Let's get a quick refresher on it. Yeah, so again, this is one of those extinction maps where it's just not it, man. It's good, it's better, it's definitely better than Awakening, but it's one of those maps that is just truly not it. It really did have some cool ideas, but I mean, crappy gameplay all around, not fun parts of the maps and stuff like that. To me, Exodus is got to be above Awakening, but it is still bad category. I mean, Extinction, we're gonna get to some good stuff, but oh man, a lot of the game mode was just they actively made it worse, man. They really did. Next map is Darkest Shore. Okay, Darkest Shore. So we're down to some World War II zombies here. Darkest Shore, I mean, it's lackluster. I would go as far to say it's more enjoyable than Voyage of Despair, but it is definitely lackluster. And World War II zombies, it's no secret that it is, out of all the game modes, I mean, Extinction not really included because it's not technically zombies, it's definitely my least favorite iteration of zombies we've ever had. BO4 is definitely better, and this map was one of the better maps Darkest Shore was, but it's lackluster. I'm sorry. Listen, World War II simps, I apologize, but that's just where it's got to live. Next up is Descent. Yes. Okay, we're finally getting to some of the good boys here. So, Descent Exo Zombies is, I mean, you guys know I love Exo Zombies. Exo Zombies is some of the most fun times that I think I have nostalgia wise, even over some of these maps. I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this. But between the Wonder Weapon, the Blunderbuss, dude, Descent was an actively very, very fun time for me. I'm gonna put Descent. This is gonna be the most controversial one so far because I know how people feel about Exo Zombies. I'm going to put Descent into a great map category. Now, I think it's gonna end up toward the back half of great, but Descent, in my opinion, is a low-key banger of a map. Go back and play it. I promise you, you will not have a bad time. Exo Zombies was just absolutely crapped on for no reason. Let's keep it going. All right, I feel like we're chunking through a lot of stuff here. What do we? Zombies in Spaceland. IW Zombies. So Challenge Shuffle was awarded the very first painful award here, down here. Zombies in Spaceland is just a masterpiece, man. I feel like it really was the best iteration of Infinite Warfare Zombies, and everything else, unfortunately, went kind of downhill. I'm going to put Zombies in Spaceland as a great map. I'm going to put it actually behind Descent because I really do believe in Descent's design, the way that the Easter egg is, everything like that. Zombies in Spaceland is a great map, though, and I think it was the perfect intro to the Willard Wyler storyline. Unfortunately, I think it was the best iteration that they had for the entire thing, but it deserves the great spot, man. It really, really does. Go back and play it. Oh, chef's kiss as well, man. We're getting some good maps here. And we got Zetsubou no Shima. Okay, so BO3, man, BO3, I'm so partial to the gameplay on it, but Zetsubou really just had very, very little going for it, man. There's Easter egg, tedious, not very, very fun to do with the watering plants. It basically was like gardening simulator. Spider boss fight, incredible. That was pretty much the only main highlight of this map. I'm going to put this down in lackluster, right behind the Darkest Shore. Darkest Shore, Zetsubou no Shima, Voyage of Despair is definitely my order of what I would want to play in those three. So I feel pretty good about this. Still above Outbreak, yes. I feel like I'm doing Outbreak really dirty, but hey, what can I say, man? This is just my knee-jerk reactions, best opinions that I can give about these things at this current time. And we got the Frozen Dawn. Boy, oh boy, have I been waiting for this map. Okay, fun story about the Frozen Dawn. I covered all of World War II zombies. You can go back. I was getting pretty good views on World War II zombies. YouTube channel was doing well. People were having fun watching. This is, in my opinion, the biggest example. Anytime someone calls me like, oh, you're a COD sellout, you're a COD shill, you'll play anything if it gets views. Bro, Frozen Dawn was just so unbelievably did not click with me that to this day, I have not completed the Easter egg for the Frozen Dawn. I was during the Easter egg hunt, just got real annoyed and frustrated. This has only ever happened with one other zombie map of all time. Some of you guys already know what it is. This map is painful. This map is painful. Challenge, it is the worst map on our list so far. I don't know what it is about this map. I don't even think it's that bad. But this is the one thing that I'll give you the pass on if you like this map, because I just straight up had a terrible time with this map. I don't know what it was. This may not be a factually correct statement. You guys might, I'll allow disagreements on this. Frozen Dawn is the worst map on our list so far. Painful tier, easily. All right, here we go, spin the wheel, and Shadowed Throne. Oh boy, okay, so map design on Shadowed Throne. If you guys, here, I'll go ahead, I'll just show you guys real quick to give you guys a refresher. So the Shadowed Throne right here, you see us changing the letters. I think this is when we were going through the Easter egg and everything. Dude, Shadowed Throne is, I think the weakest part about this map is the fact of how small this map actually was. Like, just looking back at this, it had some fun parts to it, yes, but I feel like the gameplay was just so incredibly lackluster in terms of actual map design and, like, you know, loadout, everything like that. I don't know, man. It was okay. It was very okay at best, and I don't know, man. I feel bad putting it so low, but I think I would even go ahead and put it into the bad tier. World War II Zombies and I, again, it's no secret, we didn't click. I would put it top of bad tier for Shadowed Throne. Had some good stuff, but just not a memorable map. There's nothing good about that map, so we'll keep it there. All right, next up, spin the wheel. We got Farm. So Farm is definitely by far and large the worst of the little BO3 mini maps. I don't think it needs much explanation. It's fun for a challenge or two, but then you never play it again. I'm gonna go ahead and straight up put it in the bad tier. No one plays Farm. Go play Town. It's 10 times better. It's gonna be back in bad tier. Yeah, that's it. All right, so next up we got Bus Depot. Okay, so Bus Depot, I mean, we're literally just doing these back to back. Bus Depot, better than Farm. It's hard to put it behind Awakening, but I think that's where it goes. Bus Depot, Farm, there's small maps that just aren't as much fun. That's straight up what it is. Small maps minus the fun. That's all it is. We got Shadows of Evil. Ooh, now so we've had some debates about the worst maps. Now we're going to get into some debates about the best maps. I immediately, not a question in my mind, it goes in S tier. The question is, where does it go in terms of Der Eisendrache? Does it go behind? Does it go in front? And I think I'm gonna upset some people. But Shadows of Evil, in my opinion, is better than Der Eisendrache. And I think my opinion of that has changed over the years. I used to say Der Eisendrache was my favorite zombie map of all time. But I think A, the speedruns, and B, how much I speedran, and C, the amount of tricks and cool stuff you can do in Shadows of Evil that is not possible in any other zombie map, like frame perfect jumps, jumping over walls. I think based on how much the community has innovated this map in terms of what you can do to beat the Easter egg quickly, Shadows of Evil is the greatest zombie map maybe of all time. And we have one more discussion that I think you guys are waiting for when it comes up. But Shadows of Evil, in my opinion, is better map than Der Eisendrache. Are they both amazing? Yes. Shadows of Evil, better than Der Eisendrache. Literally just go watch the Easter egg world record speedrun and tell me otherwise. It's incredible. It's an incredible, amazing map, man. It really is. All right, I'm gonna guess we get a World War II map. We got Shino Numa. Okay, Shino Numa. Here's a hot take. The COD mobile version of Shino Numa is better than the original. I had more fun playing COD mobile Shino Numa, doing the boss fights and stuff, than I did actually playing the map. I think this map is lackluster. I don't think it's bad. I think it's just lackluster. And that's just kind of based on it being, you know, so old. It's hard to put an OG into a bad category, but I'm just going off me personally today as a zombie player who's been playing for 10 plus years. You know what I mean? It's lackluster. I think that's fine. I think it's a lot more lackluster than 5. Outbreak's better. It's just Shino Numa, man. It's a classic. It's fun to, you know, relive memories. Not to play, though. Not to play. Next up, we got Nocturne Toten. Okay. I mean, we just had this discussion. It goes here. It's better than Shino Numa, but no, it goes here. Nocturne Toten's better than 5. but lackluster. I mean, it's the OG. It's so hard. It's so hard to put these things here. But objectively speaking, in terms of actual, have I had more fun in my lifetime on Nocturne? This is a great way to put it. Have I had more fun in my lifetime on Nocturne and Toten than, you know, Die Rise? Yes. Which one would I rather play today? Nocturne and Toten. I think that's, I think that, or sorry, I ruined my entire point. If I had to pick one map to play between Die Rise or Nocturne and Toten, I'm gonna play Die Rise, not Nocturne and Toten. Nocturne and Toten gets boring really, really fast nowadays with how much zombies is innovated. I've had more fun on this map in my lifetime, but I would have to go. I would have to play Die Rise over Nocturne and Toten, and it's not even close for me. All right, come on, give me some more World War II or Infinite Warfare. I want to roast some stuff here. Let's go. Garad Krovy. That's the opposite, dude. Okay, so Garad Krovy is, I mean, it's kind of come around on me a little bit. I think Garad Krovy has kind of come around on me on a really fun map to speedrun. I think it's a pretty darn fun map to play. I would put Garad Krovy in the good category. Better than Revelations, or sorry, the great category, whatever this one is. I would give it the great category. Garad Krovy is a great map. I think it's still worse than Spaceland and Descent, but it is a great map. And the aesthetic of it, the storyline, the graph modules, like there's so much really, really cool stuff about it. I really have very little complaints about Garad Krovy, except that you kind of need a gobble gum to do a step if you're not a great player. Other than that, that's about it. Undead Man Walking, literally OP. I believe in miracles. We got Infection. Okay, Big Burger Town. I mean, this map doesn't even need an explanation. I am a huge Infection fan. And part of the, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, part of the reason that I'm such a big fan of Exo Zombies is I literally got like world's first on the first like 3 maps. I think I got like, I would have to look at my actual list to, you know, show everything. And I want to make a video eventually on the world's first of every single zombie map in terms of teams and stuff. I have all that information written down in a spreadsheet. I don't remember which map I didn't get. Anyway, I got world's first on Infection. I love this map. I think that objectively it is worse than than Descent and a lot of these other ones. So I'd go ahead and put Infection in the average category. If I'm, again, objectively looking at it, I know people would put it in painful category. I truly think Infection was actually a lot of fun. The triple, like, triangle map design. It's average because of some annoying features that I understand, but Infection's a good map, man. I like that one. I like it a lot. I feel like we're getting the same games over and over when we keep pulling randomly. Firebase Z. All right, another Black Ops Cold War map. BOCW. Firebase Z. I mean, it's definitely where did I put D Machine? I put D Machine here. Firebase Z is better than D Machine, but I think it's very slightly better. And would I rather play Firebase Z or Kino Der Toten? I think it depends on my mood. So I'm gonna put it right here. I'm going to put it right. It's Firebase Z and D Machine. I think they both exist next to each other. Cold War, thankfully, has gotten better and better with every single map that they've put out. But it's average. It's average. It has some cool features. And again, had a better storyline if it was in like the Ether storyline and had characters, it would be higher. But for gameplay alone, I mean, gameplay alone getting you to a C is really good. So it's still a great map. Give me a Extinction. Dead of the Night. Oh boy. Okay, this isn't even the one that I was thinking of because I literally have deleted this one from my mind. You cannot ever, no matter what, change my mind that Dead of the Night is the worst zombie map to ever be made ever because of one reason and one reason only. There are like 80 spawn points that you need to learn in order to play this map. Some of them aren't even interactable. Some of them are literally scratch marks. There are like 87 spawn points to learn on Dead of the Night. It is a chore to play. It isn't fun. The Easter egg is confusing and really, really hard to remember. The guides are like 80 minutes long on these because you need a minute for every part spawn. Dead of the Night is the worst zombie map of all time. I don't care your opinion. This is the factually correct statement. Anyone who likes Dead of the Night literally only likes it because people hate it. And they want to be cool and quirky and be like, oh, I'm a real zombies fan. No. Dead of the Night is the worst zombie map of all time. Painful literally, how do I add a category? Here we go. Dead of the Night. Literally below painful. Abomination. There it is. Factually correct. Man, we are flying through this right now. Grostenhaus. I mean, like what? Who here has played Grostenhaus a whole lot? I mean, it's I mean, it's better than Bus Depot and Farm, but barely. Groston House is like there. There's not anything fun about Groston House. I mean, it's a cool addition, and I always like when they add in extra stuff. That doesn't mean it has to be good. It was good entertainment for like 2 attempts on it, and that was it. And, you know, better than Bus Depot and Farm, but L. Big L. We got Mob of the Dead. Let's go. Big Mob. So I think Mob of the Dead is one of the kind of more overrated maps in terms of people's rankings. I think people kind of forget some of the, you know, repetitive, boring parts of it. That being said, it was one of the best storylines, if not the best storyline, and it was contained with itself. And I mean, obviously it got lots of like, you know, retconning of like, hey, this was actually, you know, their blood is important, stuff like that. But I'm going to put Mob of the Dead in it. It's an S tier map, and I'm going to go ahead and keep it right there. I think oh, dude, that's hard actually. This is really, really hard. Actually, no, I think Der Eisendrache is worse than Mob of the Dead simply because of the story, man. Mob of the Dead had such driving characters, and for them to do this with like characters we'd never seen before, like such incredible storytelling, and the map itself is really, really fun. I think if there was anything better about the gameplay, I think like the BO2 system doesn't really hold up in terms of, again, like I said, smooth gameplay and connection. I think aside from those things, Mob of the Dead could be one of the greatest map of all time, but I think the gameplay does hold it back a little bit because it is just kind of clunky on BO2 sometimes. So Mob of the Dead is getting a S tier map easily, and I think it deserves right there, right after Shadows of Evil for me. Dude, give me the good stuff. What do we got? We got the Tortured Path. I mean, it's called the Tortured Path for a reason, and it's literally playing this thing as actual torture. Dude, Tortured Path was not a very fun map to play. I really feel bad if there's any World War II Zombies devs watching this, because I appreciate a lot of what they did, but it didn't work for me. And that's fine. It doesn't work for everybody. I think Tortured Path has got to go into painful category. I'd put it better than Shaolin Shuffle and the Frozen Dawn for sure, but Tortured Path is painful. It's just painful to play, man. It really is. Let's keep going. We got Outbreak, the original Outbreak, the intro to Exo Zombies here. I think this map was actually really, really good. I'm not going to put it anywhere near Descent. I'm going to put this into the average category. I think Outbreak was average. Would I rather play it than Die Rise? Depends on the occasion. I'm going to put it at the very, very end of average. I think it was a great intro. Storyline was whatever. Outbreak, I mean, the Easter egg, it didn't really have a boss fight. So lackluster maybe. I feel like I was too harsh on the second Outbreak now. I don't know. I'm going to put the second Outbreak at the very top. I'm going to move this up because Outbreak, it's enjoyable, man. It's fun to stream. I like it. So yeah, let's do that. 2 Outbreaks right next to each other, one tier above. Let's go with that. That feels a lot more fair to Outbreak of Cold War Zombies. Who do we got? We got Rave in the Redwoods. Okay, so if Zombies in Spaceland was all the way up here in A tier, I'm going to put this down in E tier. Rave in the Redwoods, I'd say, is the top of bad. Rave in the Redwoods, I think they tried a lot of things. I think the story kind of like held it up from being painful. But dude, I just don't understand how much of a miss Rave in the Redwoods was after Zombies in Spaceland was so good, man. Very, very little redeeming qualities about this map to me. It just kind of gets into the more annoyingness of Easter eggs rather than actually having fun. And then throw in the fact that the Easter egg was solved in like 2 hours after this one took a while. You know, I'm going to put it down in E tier. It's hard to give it anything higher than that, in my opinion. Is it the top? Yeah, but that's where it's going to go. All right, we're almost down to 2 rows of maps. We've got Mayday. Okay. Mayday is where Extinction excelled. They had 2 really, really good maps, and Mayday was the best. It had such a cool boss fight on the dude. This was a good map. Especially in the Exo Zombies realm. I'm gonna go ahead and put Mayday right next to Final Reich, I believe. I think like my nostalgia wants me to put it up here. I'm not gonna lie. The nostalgia for that boss fight really wants me to put it up here, but I'm gonna put it behind Final Reich. Mayday was incredible, and I think it's really, really difficult to say otherwise, and especially compared to Extinction. Oh, so good. We got Tag Der Toten. Okay, Tag Der Toten. I think Tag Der Toten was crapped on a little bit too hard because people didn't like the ending. I think it was average. I think it was lower average. Let's put it Let's put it right here, right behind Doris. I think Tog Der Toten definitely caught a little bit too much slack for its ending. I think parts of the map were really, really cool. I think the storyline was cool. To this day, I still don't know exactly how I feel about the ending. Again, I wish the Zombies team had more budget because I'm sure they wanted to do more than just a, Call of the Dead remake. But all things considered, it's back half of average. It's closer to being bad than it is to being good, but it's average. It's average. Next up, we got Carrier. Oh, baby, you already know we're putting these up here. Carrier is an A tier map. Does it go above Descent? I don't think so. I think Descent and then Carrier. Dude, these three maps right here are, in my opinion, well, we won't say that yet. We'll save that for when we come to it. Here we go. Let's see. We've got 9. Number 11, Burger King Foot Lettuce. 9 was the best map of BO4. That's not even debatable. That's up there. I think it's a great map. I think it's back half of great. I would rather play Descent and Carrier, Zombies in Spaceland, and Garage Crovey over 9. But these are pretty much the only maps I would say are better than it. 9 was, BO4 had a great start with 9. Voyage, wherever that is, not so good, but you know what I mean. All right, let's keep going. All right, last 2 rows. It's gonna be harder. Blood of the Dead. Woo. Okay. Again, crapped on a little bit too hard. I'm gonna put it at the top of bad. They tried a lot of stuff, and I think they missed the mark on things not being tedious, and instead rather being, they missed the mark on things being like from really cool Easter egg challenges, like that are, fun and engaging, to just being tedious steps. And I think they wanted to extend the Easter egg hunt. And I think Revelations is a good example of how to extend the Easter egg hunt in the right way. I know how much people hated that stupid rock step on Revelations. This was just like, it's not fun to replicate. Revelations, once you know the steps, you can replicate it decently well. It's still not a perfect example, but that sort of difficulty of Easter egg is actually what I like. Really hard to figure out, but easy to replicate. And Blood of the Dead is hard to figure out and hard to replicate. And I think that Cold War is basically easy to find out, easy to replicate. Some of these other maps are the complete opposite, and that's definitely Blood of the Dead. So it's top of bad category. Top of bad. I'm sorry, Blood of the Dead. I really wanted to love you, but I just couldn't. We got Origin. Okay. All right. So easily S tier, right? Easily S tier. I think I don't know if it's my opinion of these other maps going up or my opinion of Der Eisendrache because it's so overplayed going down. Der Eisendrache, the only thing that I think it has over Origins, honestly, is the boss fight. The boss fight in Der Eisendrache is one of my favorite boss fights ever of all time. But I don't think that's enough to outweigh everything else that Origins has that Der Eisendrache doesn't. Origins was just such a massive, undertaking. I think Origins goes above Der Eisendrache. Now, between Origins and Mob of the Dead, simply for the fact of, again, I love these tricks. I love these things that the community figures out and how much detail and depth these maps have. Origins, its Easter egg gets tedious at times and it's hard to remember, but I think it still goes over Mob of the Dead for me. I think these are elite tier maps, and it's really hard to distinguish between them, but it's gotta be there. Right below Shadows of Evil for me on Origins. Shadows of Evil is just, I don't know, man. There's something about it where I could always play a game of Shadows of Evil. I have to be in the right mindset for Origins. But if I'm not in the right mindset for Origins, Shadows of Evil is I'm always in the mindset for that. It's just such a pinnacle map, man. So there it is. That's that. All right, what do we got here? We got Attack of the Radioactive Thing. Now, I'm a little biased again on this one because I did find out a step of the Easter egg correctly. I was the first person to not just guess over and over until I got it. I stayed on this one Easter egg step despite it putting me behind in the Easter egg hunt to actually figure out how it was done with the chemical mixing. That being said, I think it was lackluster. I think it's probably right here, right behind Nocturne and Toten, but above 5. That seems like a pretty good spot for it. It's definitely lackluster. I think they had really cool ideas. Boss fight, again, it's just the connection. If you are on a bad connection, you literally just die in the boss fight because they have that laser part. Nah, it's lackluster for sure. I wouldn't quite say it's bad, but it's close, very close. We're getting down to it. We got the Final Reich. Okay, so here we go. This is what I was waiting for right here. The Final Reich. Right here, it's gonna be somewhere in. I think it's right there. I think it's. I really want to have, okay, I'm going to put it Grod Krovi here, and I'm actually going to put Final Reich at the end of the great maps, because I think this is where it belongs. But real quick, these 4 maps are how you do zombies when you're not Treyarch, in my opinion. Descent, Carrier, Zombies of Spaceland, and the Final Reich. The Final Reich was a great map. I don't know what it is with Zombies of Spaceland, the Final Reich being so good, and then the season just slowly going downhill for me. But Final Reich is a great tier map. I think it is massively, massively underrated, and it was a great intro. It was actually really fun to speedrun as well. So Final Reich, great map, great map. It's the one World War II map that I actually got big thumbs up for me, and I really enjoyed. Next up, we got Transit. Okay, I mean, this is always the controversial one because you have people just doing this for the memes, and you also have people doing what I did for Dead of the Night for the memes. Transit is a big controversial one. In all honesty, I don't think it's as bad as people make it out to be, but that still is terrible. I think with remastering, with everything, it could be a lot better. I'm going to go ahead and put it right here, right next to Nocturne and Toten. People will always try to get, clickbait it, putting it like really high or really low. I think, honestly, it's just a lackluster map. I think they had really cool ideas. It was very, very memorable. Great story. Great way to kick off BO2. But I think we're lying to ourselves if we say it's better than, pretty much anything above it, or really it's worse than anything below it. I think it really does deserve that kind of like lower bottom tier. And that's my true opinions on Transit. As much as we like to meme it, it's not as bad. Leave our boy alone, man. He's not that bad. All right, we got Nightfall, one of the other fantastic Extinction maps. This is the other one that I think they did a really, really great job on. And I'm actually going to go ahead and give it the spot right here, right after Die Rise. I think right there. Nightfall had some insanely well done mechanics, and it was really interesting. And I'm just a sucker for big old bosses. I'm going to be completely real with you. I'm a huge sucker for a big old boss, and Nightfall had a big old boss. So I'm going to go ahead and throw it right there. It was average, it was average. These are very hard to get into. As much as I did enjoy some of this other stuff, average. 2 more away from the last line. We got Ancient Evil. Okay, here is the other map that I think deserves a spot in the at least good category. 9, better than Ancient Evil, yes, but Ancient Evil had so much memorable stuff, good storyline, a lot of fun, and it really actually it wrapped up the Chaos story. And it's the one that got people saying, wait, I actually want to know more about the Chaos story. And I think it took a lot of work to do that. So I'm going to say Ancient Evil is right here, right above Voyage of Despair. I think these two are very, 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 very close, and Voyage of Despair with better story would be higher for me. But Ancient Evil, I think it sits very, very nicely right there in the middle of good. I think very, 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 very good spot for it. Next up, we got Call of the Dead. Okay, everybody who tells you Call of the Dead is a good map is lying. It's bad. Yeah, I'm not gonna mess around. Call of the Dead, I would rather play Blood of the Dead than Call of the Dead. Straight up. Call of the Dead is not a fun map to play. I don't care who you are. Memorable, sure. Storyline, whatever. Not a fun map to play. Nothing about it is enjoyable. The ice, the layout of it. No. Call of the Dead, bad tier map. Can't change my mind. Factually correct. Next up, we got Shangri-La. Okay, Shangri-La, I think just goes into lackluster. I think it's lacking some stuff, but it's not terrible. It's not the worst thing in the world to play. It is difficult, and I think people, because of its difficulty, give it a bad grade. I'm gonna put it right behind Nocturne and Toten. Shangri-La is a difficult map, but it is very rewarding in a way that you just don't get from Call of the Dead. You never feel rewarded. You get the wonder weapon and you're like, cool, these wonder weapons suck. Shangri-La, the baby gun itself is what is bringing it out of bad category. So Shangri-La, lackluster, but still decent map. Very decent. All right, we're coming down to it here. Buried. Oh, baby. Okay, this is one of those that I'm going to say, if you disagree with me on this, it's not factually correct. I am so biased towards Buried. I am so biased towards Buried. I think it is one of the most fun, but still challenging zombie maps of all time. I'm going to go ahead and put Buried right behind Descent. I'm going to put Buried right behind Descent. I absolutely enjoy me a game of Buried more than anything else in this world. There's so much stuff to do. There's so many cool perks. The wonder weapons is incredible. Buried is one of those maps that I think I could always pick up the game and play. I think it's, out of all the BO2 maps, definitely the one that I would always feel like playing. Even with Mob of the Dead, you have to kind of sweat in this. You don't have to sweat as much in Buried. You can just have a good time. Sharpshooter, so much fun. Buried. Oh, it's great. It's a great map. That's where it belongs, 100%. Next up, we got Classified. Okay, Classified, you go right above 5. These two, I stand by what I said at the beginning. Classified was a slightly improved version of 5. Straight up. And I mean, honestly, you could probably even do this because it doesn't have the Pentagon Thief. But Classified slightly better than 5. I don't care. 5's not a good map. Very, very, very lackluster. Next up, we've got Point of Contact. Point of Contact. This is the first Extinction map. It was a decent intro, but I'd say it's just, I'd say it's right here. Extinction's just kind of a meh for me. Point of Contact was fun to play a few times, but I think that was really all anyone played it. Awakening, Exodus are definitely better, but Point of Contact definitely in the bad category. It's just, Extinction is just, it's just meh. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's hard to say anything else about Extinction other than just meh. Good try. So here we go. All right, we've got next Alpha Omega. Okay, the Nuketown remake. I just realized Nuketown isn't on this. So I'm gonna kind of combine both of these, and I'm gonna say it was lackluster. I would put it right behind Transit. Right behind Transit. It was just lackluster. And Nuketown Zombies would probably go in this exact same spot because I don't think they did Nuketown Zombies. They kind of forgot about Nuketown. Both of them go right here. Just kind of lackluster. Nothing special about the maps. They were okay. They had some good parts to it, some bad parts. Just kind of meh. And I feel that way about a lot of the remakes, to be completely honest with you. It's just hard to make something better than the original. If it had to be remade, it probably shouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? All right, we got 3 left. Let's see. We've got the Giant. Okay, the Giant. I said it at the beginning. I'll say it again. I think these are very, very similar to each other. I think they're just kind of like different experiences of what you want to do. So I'm going to put this right next to Durice. I'm actually going to put the Giant slightly behind Ancient Evil because it's not as much fun to catwalk camp on the Giant as it was on Durice. So I'm going to put Ancient Evil right in between them. I'm going to split the two brothers with Ancient Evil. And again, it's like the remake thing. You know, it doesn't even visually look that much cooler. The volumetric lighting in BO3 is beautiful, but yeah, we'll keep it there. All right, final 2. We've got Beast from. I mean, we knew where this was going, right? We absolutely knew where this was going. This is the only other map where I have actually completed the Easter egg. I have not completed the super Easter egg though. I have not killed Mephistopheles in an actual like gameplay setting. I've done it on like the special mode where you can fight him, but I've never beat him because F Beast from Beyond and everything it stands for. I hate this map. I think I would put it only slightly above Frozen Dawn. Straight up. These two are very, very close to each other in being the worst zombie maps of all time, of course, aside from Dead of the Night. Last but not least, we've got Verrucht. Why am I closing my eyes? I already know what it is. This is literally it. Verrucht is definitely the best out of these simple, quote unquote, simple maps. Verrucht is definitely the best. Like the no Easter egg, no crazy stuff happening type stuff. No main Easter egg, no crazy gameplay. I think Verrucht is the best. So I think I put Nocturne and Toten right there. I would put Verrucht actually up here because of its ambiance and everything. I would put Verrucht into the average category. I would actually put it right here above Togder or Toten. Verrucht, it's a great map, man. It really is. The first room challenges are some of the greatest displays in zombie skill you can have. It is. Oh, Verrucht is great, and the only reason it's so low is just because, I mean, it's hard to beat out these masterpieces up here. So here it is, boys. This is it. This is the ultimate, the correct tier list for every single zombies map that exists and why I think so. Shadows of Evil, Origins, Mob of the Dead, Der Eisendrache are like just like near perfect. There's very little I would change about any of these maps given the opportunity. Descent, Buried, Carrier, Zombies in Spaceland, Grog Krovi, 9, and Final Reich are all very, very, very near to the S tier maps, but they're just not quite there. They're missing a thing or two. The good tier, pretty much I would say anything from these 3, I actively think are great maps, or better, or near perfect. Anything from the good category up, I would say the average and lackluster are just like, you know, I wouldn't mind playing them, but I'm not gonna, you know, ever go out of my way to play them type thing. They're just, you know, they're all right. And then I would say the lackluster and the bad maps are things I would actively avoid. I would actively avoid playing anything in here. And then these, I will not play. Anything in these categories, I straight up, you cannot get me to play them. You cannot get me to play them because they are that bad. Dead of the Night, if I never played that abomination of a map ever again in my entire life, I'd be happy. So there it is. There's the tier list. Let me know what your thoughts are down below in the description. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do so. If you're reacting to this, what's up? Make sure that you dab on the haters. I hate myself.